wickedly on the counter.
Yeah, they hit you on the counter. That's practically what they did to Argentina in Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup, the first game. And if you look at it, one thing about football that I know is it is too risky for you to keep losing your chances. When you create chances, try to bury them. If you don't bury them, it can become something that can bite you so much in the future that you regret. So it's better. Don't think it is a friendly game and be lackadaisical about it. You need to work hard, stay on top of your game, and be the best you can ever be. So I think this game is 36 minutes though. It's still a bit young. And I think, especially when they come back in the second half, the coach must have done the needed correction, and you see a better team for it.
Okay, talking about the game, is in 36 minutes already, and still Nigeria 0, Saudi Arabia 0, but Saudi has a chance in the Nigerian defense as both the Nigerian defender and the goalkeeper actually finding it hard, and that is Semi Ajayi and the Calvin Phillips, and the Nigerian goalkeeper trying to find. There was actually a miscommunication between the two men there, and which shouldn't be happening at this stage of the game. But good one for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, as the goalkeeper could easily pick that off. And straight to the ball possession, Nigeria has the better share of ball possession, having 53% of ball possession, while Saudi Arabia has been reduced to 47% of ball possession. Total shot, Nigeria has 6, Saudi Arabia has 0, while Nigeria has 1 shot on target, Saudi Arabia has 0 shots on target. Look at the shot on target, because that is where the goals actually come in. That's a good chance for Saudi Arabia, but that was actually a good save from the Nigerian goalkeeper, Francis Uzo, who came to Nigeria rescue there, one-on-one against him there, and he was able to cut that shot. Fantastic save from that young man there, though not every Nigerian loves that goalkeeper.
When you say no, not every Nigerian loves that goalkeeper, I'm not a fan of Uzo at all. I'm not his fan at all. There are some silly mistakes he makes on the post. And I wonder why he still remains number. I wonder why he still remains number 1 choice of most coaches. Probably they know what they are seeing in him that I'm not seeing. But from what I am seeing, we have better goalkeepers than Uzoho. We just hope he up his game. There are some careless situations. I just hope it don't happen today. I hope he don't. Sometimes he lose guard and it goes coming. Yeah. But so far it has been fantastic. Let's see if he can keep it to the end.
Yeah, Uzoho had a good save there. Sometimes he has had a fantastic game. We remember the game against Argentina in the Russia World Cup. The goals he considered was nothing you can do about it. So sometimes they do have off day in the office, but those off days can come at a critical moment whereby you can hardly forget, like the situation of Karius for Liverpool against Real Madrid.
Oh, that's actually a wicked one. You shouldn't be talking about Karius, because that's actually traumatic for any football fans.
Yeah.
We are currently approaching the 38th minute. It's still Nigeria 0, Saudi Arabia 0. The game is looking like a game that might be ending 0-0 at halftime. I actually favor a 0-0 full-time score, because it's not looking like, it's actually looking like a tight game that both teams will actually struggle to get the goals in this encounter.
Yeah, to me, I don't see it as a tight game. I see it as a game that Nigeria has been wasteful. I don't think they have buried their chances. Nigeria will be 2-3-4-0 up right now. And they need to do something about it. Brings me to Chelsea. Last season, Chelsea created chances. The reason why they were not in the top 4 was because after Man City, they created most chances. And the reason they are not in the top 4 is conversion rate. When you don't convert your chances, you're as good as not creating them. So Nigeria should take a toll from that, learn from their mistakes, and start converting their chances. You can have one chance and convert it and use it to win a game. That's how football is.
Okay, talking about Chelsea, and don't forget to be on this channel this coming weekend, when Chelsea will be taking on Arsenal in the EPL. I'm sure you might be here to support this Chelsea team against Arsenal, and the Gaffer will also be here to support Arsenal on that said date. And back to this game,
and to also support is Barcelona.
We have to leave that to the weekend.
They are giving me clubs that I'm not a fan of.
We can actually see the frustration on on Roberto Martinez's face. this was a good chance. A clinical striker would have actually scored that.
Yeah,
but that was actually, you have to give it to that last save from Francis Uzor there. Yeah, that was actually, age is just very much on the side. And talking about the game, is in the 40th minute. Right now, it's still Saudi Arabia 0, Nigeria 0. And don't forget, Nigeria's actually dominated play, but the goals are not coming in. Let's see if any or both of the victors up front will be amongst the goal scorers tonight. Victor Boniface will be looking for his first goal for the Super Eagles, while Victor Osimhen record of 37 goals for the Super Eagles. You know, looking at Victor Osimhen, he's still very young, and everybody's actually, banking on him to breaking that, record which has actually stood the test of time.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, that record now is as good as gone. But one thing we need to do is we need a good manager that can harness the talents we have right now at the national team, that can give them a foundation that they can build on. Because one thing about national team is structure. And that's the main thing Nigeria lacks. Since the days of West Ham, the structure is set down. Over the years, Nigeria is trying to tilt towards moving away from it, but we have not successfully created another structure. So we need to go and visit our structural arrangement from the onset. So after visiting our structure, have a way you want the Super Eagles to play. We know Spain is tiki-taka. We know Brazil for samba football. And we know some teams like that with their way of playing football. And you cannot build a team without... How can you gather people without vision? Your vision cannot just be winning trophy. You have to have a roadmap to the trophy. Roadmap, structure is part of that roadmap. How can we get what we want? How can we play to win with the quality we have at hand? And I don't see Pesero doing enough work from that point.
Another thing about football is not about you having a structure that everybody knows. Everybody can predict you. This is what I am. This is what I can do. And these days, most managers, they go down, understudy a team, and come up with a possible solution to counter them or to win them. So it is good for you to be slicky also sometimes. You have a solid foundation to be slicky, to twist, so that you will not be able people will not be able to interpret what you are coming up with, so that you can take them by surprise.
Okay, that's actually a million questions from the guys on the studio, and that's why the question was going on. Tyrone Iboyi took a good shot there, but the goalkeeper had every answer to that. And still Nigeria 0, Saudi Arabia 0 in the 42nd minute, and we approach the 43rd minute of this game, which will leave us with 2 more minutes to go in regulation time of the first half, and we'll be seeing how much minute the referee will be adding in additional time. And don't forget, this match has been played in Portugal, between the game between Nigeria and Saudi Arabia. And playing on a good turf. Whenever they're on a good turf, we see them, spring those passes. They are never at fault. They know how to get those passes. But the final turf, that's actually been the problem for the Super Eagles in this game. Is it creativity that was the problem for the Super Eagles? Because when we look at it right now, we have Alex Iwobi as the creative midfielder. But what has that connection been between him and the two victors up front?
Yeah, I think Iwobi needs to work on himself. Because his link-up play is questionable, and that explains why I think he has been on the bench for most of these competitive games they played this season. I think Iwobi needs to do more on his link-up play. And indeed, he has been doing fantastic stops for Leicester this season, but they are playing the championship. What's the level of competition? What's the level of quality? And when you now juxtapose it to the quality of, which is very important, because many of these guys play new, many of them play on quality. You can't bring them to some Yorubas who say Shangoto Day and expect them to give you some miraculous result. You have to give them enabling environment to be able to show themselves and the stuff they are made of. So I think the pitch too is a plus. A solid, well-managed pitch like this. You definitely see some good free-flowing.
These that would have been the first goal, and you can see the bench. They are in disbelief. Ademola Lookman should be scoring that, and that sums up his game. Not the kind of goal Ademola Lookman should be missing. One over with the goalkeeper, went for the placement, but he overplaced that goal post. Wow, what a miss from the Atlanta striker.
That was one of the reasons why I wanted to say something, you know, when you talk about they have the midfielders have to, you know, improve in their league completely. I actually agree with him to some extent. But if you're looking at this very particular match now, you know that there has been so many good passes, so many link-up play from the midfield to the link-up play. You know, he missed it. And from your statistics also, you actually see that Nigeria has actually missed so many chances. You know what I'm saying? So that means to say, averagely, I will not say the midfielders who are supposed to be linking up, who are supposed to be passing, they are actually doing well. But I just expect them to up it up to better. But
permanent form is temporary. Maybe he's not in form, and there's a need for him to improve.
And it's halftime at the Estadio Municipal de Portimao. The referee has just blown the halftime whistle, and Saudi Arabia 0, Nigeria 0. Ademola Lookman lost a very good chance to give Nigeria the lead, but fortunately he overplays the goalpost, and that keeps this match at 0-0 at halftime. The Super Eagles of Nigeria 0, the Green Falcons of Saudi Arabia 0 at halftime. You know, it has actually been a match of not really much you can actually, you know, analyze about these two teams. But you have to give it to the Nigerians. You know, they've actually came into this game with intent, but the goals are just not coming in for the Super Eagles.
Yeah, the goals are not coming in because they are not taking their chances. Once they wake up to it and start taking their chances, then they can start to dream and say, okay, maybe we are getting better for the AFCON. Because there are some African teams that are way more prepared than Super Eagles. They really need to wake up and know that they have an uphill task at their hands.
I'm talking about the AFCON, the draw for the group stage of the AFCON has been conducted yesterday, and we'll be analyzing the 6 groups at the AFCON to see which teams are favorite to win the competition.
Watch that match. A lot of football lovers will want to watch that match because it's a top African countries, Nigerian, Cote d'Ivoire. It's always been a cracker, you know, right from the days of Didier Drogba when he was in Cote d'Ivoire, but he's actually missing right now. And talking about that group, you know, a lot of people will actually predict Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire to survive that, but a lot of people will underrate Equatorial Guinea. But when you talk about Equatorial Guinea, recently the formation, I mean, the way they play ball have actually changed. You know, they are winning big teams. And probably if Kia is not taking, Cote d'Ivoire may not make it out of that group.
Wow.
Yeah.
Host nation?
Yes, host nation. I'm saying it. That's me. You may not take it. Cote d'Ivoire may not make it out of that group.
Okay.
It may be Nigerian and Equatorial Guinea.
There's a chance of 3 making it out of this group. So I'll fancy Cote d'Ivoire making it. I'll fancy Equatorial Guinea actually making it through this group as the best loser, but not Cote d'Ivoire missing out, you know, playing on the home turf.
Honestly, their form of football is not as strong as it used to be those days. Well, everybody have his own opinion, but that is my own personal opinion.
You have to look at the man. You know, you have to look at the names on the Cote d'Ivoire list. There's There's Sagari. There's the Allah of this world. There's Zaha. You know, these are names. These are known players. You know, players that on their own very good day they can own any team. It's like a relatively, you know, tough group, but not really a tough group to me.
Yeah, not really a tough group. Easy peasy. You just have to think about Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire taking first and second spot. And either Equatorial Guinea or Guinea-Bissau trying to get a playoff spot. But I still think it's Cote d'Ivoire's game to lose.
Okay, it's Cote d'Ivoire game to lose. And straight to Group B, where we have this group is actually looking like a tough group to me. You know, having Egypt, Ghana, Cape Verde, and Mozambique in Group B.
Yeah, Egypt and Ghana, I think they have more than 10. Cape Verde might try to fancy their chances in the play
as one of the best losers.
But
what about you, Solomon?
Yeah, it's a very easy. That is a very easy group to predict. A lot of people actually go for Egypt, Ghana to qualify in that group. But I'm seeing Ghana is not in good form right now too.
Facing off in the group stage, Senegal, Cameroon, Guinea, and the Gambia in Group C.
Yeah, Cameroon, Senegal. We know Senegal most likely will top the group, followed by Cameroon. And let's just see if Guinea can get a playoff spot.
Okay, what about you? Okay, straight to Group D, where we have Algeria, Burkina Faso, Mauritania, and Angola. You know, this group is actually looking like a group where Algeria can actually favor, or they might be actually be favorite to get at 9 points, maximum point.
For me, I think Algeria and Burkina Faso.
What about you, the Gafam?
Yeah, I go for Burkina Faso, Angola.
I trust you. Straight to Group E, where we have Tunisia, Mali, South Africa, and Namibia. This group has actually been predicted by everybody, or most football fans or African football lovers, as the toughest group, where we have Tunisia, Mali, South Africa, and Namibia.
Yeah, when you look at it, there are teams almost in the same range. Tunisia just have the name now. Their national team is not really at the best form they used to be. So I think that group will be the toughest group
to crack in any competition when it comes to African football. How about you, the GAFA Group E, Tunisia, Mali, South Africa, and Namibia?
Yeah, it's Tunisia, South Africa. Tunisia,
okay.
South Africa, yeah.
Our Group F, finally, we have the final group in this AFCON draws, and we have Morocco, DR Congo, Zambia, and...
for Morocco and Zambia to make it out in that group.
Morocco and Zambia.
Yeah, I think Morocco will go through, and most likely any other team that comes after. But I think Morocco will top that group.
Okay, and to our viewers, these are the 6 groups. These are the 6 to win the AFCON in January by February. Sorry, will it be the Super Eagles of Nigeria for the 4th time? Everybody it's actually a disbelief that for a footballing nation like Nigeria, we have just 3 AFCON titles.
Yeah, serious disbelief. Add some competitive norms.
Winning bronze,
yeah.
norms, We at the time we turned the bronze to be a golden bronze.
And Nigeria won a golden bronze.
I think all is, to me, I think misplaced priority. Meanwhile, Nigeria should be focused on winning gold, nothing less than gold. And look at it, Egypt lost in that way, and they still had to let go of their manager in the last Nations Cup. So Nigeria needs this belief, like this focus to the right direction, to the goal we want. And I think this management, this current NFF is doing a good job in that aspect. They're telling him that nothing less than winning the trophy. And that's the way to go.
Okay, Solomon, looking at the present squad, the present crop of players we have, the Super Eagles of Nigeria, do you think they're capable of going to Ivory Coast to win that competition?
What did he bring? How did he use what you have? Quality players, they are doing well in their clubs, from all, position of the field. You have good players. How do you make use of them? What do you bring into them? How do you gel them? That is what is left. And so to me,
it will be an interesting month of football at the African Cup of Nations, and we promise you to be here in the studio and far away not in Ivory Coast, giving you live updates from the AFCON 2023. It was supposed to be held this year, but due to some unforeseen circumstances, it has to be rescheduled to January.
Create more, score more, and let's get away from this book of lamentation, complaining about missing chances and all. Nigeria needs to do better. Nigeria needs to do better.
Solomon, what do you think? What change do you expect the manager talking about Jose Peseiro to make in the second half, to get these goals? Because the goals or the chances
out of the 6, I expect a professional football out of the 6 for them to get like 2. By now, it should be 2 goals up if we manage to use the average opportunity that we have created. So it's not about creating chances. The chances have already been created. Super Eagles cannot be able to penetrate. So if those chances does not come by, then they have to say they have missed their chances. So my advice to them is that any opportunity that comes their way, they should make use of it and get the goal.
Okay, you can hear that from the GAFA. The Super Eagles needs to be clinical in front of goal. It's still a watch-along program on Premier Sport Fan Center. We'll go on a quick breather. And when we come back, it's the second half of that encounter. from that breather, sorry, as the beginning of the second half, and Nigeria just put a ball at the back of the net. But that was only counted as a goal, as a big man there, Victor Boniface, put that at the back of the net. But the referee actually shook that off for an infringement. It was the 47th minute already in this encounter. 2 minutes already been played in the second half between Nigeria and Saudi Arabia, sorry. Obviously, 2 substitutions already from the Saudi Arabians, bringing in Al Faraj and talking about the striker we've been talking about Al Dawsari. Straight to you, Yemi, talking about Al Dawsari, we saw him at the last World Cup. He proved himself to be a prolific striker, and he has continued from where he stopped this season in the league. Talking about for Al Hilal in the Saudi Arabia League, where he has scored 9 goals already. Oh, he has scored 7 out of 9 goals for Al Hilal this season.
Yeah, you have to give him some credit. He's a good goal puncher, and you need to talk about the level too. What level is he? Because for a player of his age, I think it would have been way better for him to be playing in Europe. And he will be open to the best tacticians of the game to actually drill him and make him a way more better player. We saw Boniface leaving Belgium League, coming to the Bundesliga, and look at what he's doing under the tutelage of Xabi Alonso. So when you look at it, the technical input too, you just have to mention it.
And that's a good chance for Saudi Arabia. It's 2 against 4 Nigerian defenders, but Nigerians are back in their numbers, but it's still Saudi Arabia against the Super Eagles. Let's see if they can actually make a chance out of this. We've not really seen Saudi Arabia with a clear-cut chance in this encounter. They've actually just been playing, more of the defensive game against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We're in the 48 minutes of this encounter. We're approaching 49 minutes already. It's still Nigeria 0, Saudi Arabia 0. I'll still ask you guys a question. Don't you guys see this game, going like the first time, 0-0 between Nigeria and Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, history repeats itself in football. It's very, very possible. Especially when you see some direction of the game and the team keeps losing chances, because both teams have had a good chance at least score 1 goal, and they both lost it. So it's very, very possible, especially, in football, when you don't score, just try not to concede. At least you don't lose the game. So when you look at games like this, they have to be defensively cautious. And there's FIFA ranking on the line. So let's just see if maybe we'll see a goal or 2 to cheer in this second half.
I don't think the match is going to end in a draw. I think there's going to be a score. There's going to be a goal in this encounter today. We've seen how the Super Eagles play so far. They have been, they have been actually precise. When I say they have been actually precise when it comes to attacking, their mentality of attacking is very high. With the inclusion of 2 victors, and you can see opportunity here.
That's another good chance for
Super Eagles. 3 people to play with.
That is actually been defended, and still Ademola Lookman on the ball, which was to go straight down. But it's Saudi Arabia who finally,
that was a silly decision from Chukwueze. He should have set that pass to Boniface and let that
still Nigeria who are currently attacking against Saudi Arabia. A good cross in from the Super Eagles, but that's only threatening the Saudi Arabia defense. It's Saudi Arabia who has successfully cleared their lines, trying to turn defense into attack, but that's only threatening the Super Eagles defenders either. But the referee is blowing for an infringement right there against Saudi Arabia. It's going to be a free kick for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, deep into the Nigerians' defense. But that should have been a free kick against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Let's see what's it's against Fahad or against the Super Eagles.
Against the
Super Eagles of Nigeria. And that was a free kick won by Fahad of Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia who are looking dangerous in this first 5 minutes of the second half. This has been, a different Saudi Arabia we've seen in this first 5 minutes of the second half. Should that be as a reason? Maybe probably that substitution being made by Roberto Mancini was actually, the determinant factor in the second half.
Yeah, it's a friendly game. You just want to test one and test one and test one. Then you want to see some loopholes that need some adjustment. And practically, I think that's just when you see a tactician, you recognize one. And he has shown to be a football tactician. We know that he's the one that started the Premier League winning trophy era for Manchester City. And so when you now look at it holistically, you say that it's more like a tactical change. Let's take it this way and let's see how it will result. And I think that's what he's just trying to go for. this second half. And Nigerians national team should just not sleep, because if they concede one here, it might be game over.
Okay, so the same starting 11 that started this game for the Super Eagles, and the same 4-4-2 formation chosen by Ose Parceiro, and it's a corner kick to Saudi Arabia in the 51st minute. Let's see if they can be making good use of this. Nigeria goalkeeper's 3 minutes, Francis Uzor, and it's right there in the defense, looking very sharp, and might actually be saving this. And let's see, with that be the first goal against Nigeria, but the Nigerian defenders were there to clear that out. But still, ball still being played in possession by Saudi Arabia, who have actually came into the second half, looking re-energized already.
Yeah, you know, the way the second half is going, it seems that this is another Saudi Arabia team that wants to come out to play. And
it's looking like the first half they use it to size Nigeria and try to understand.
Try to know what they bring to the table. Try to know the danger zone for the Super Eagles. And I want to take this to the Nigeria NFF. Right now, you look at the pot Nigeria was in. Nigeria was in pot 2 due to our poor standing at the FIFA ranking. So you should be playing
that was one of the that was one of the factors. We not qualifying for the what's it called, the last World Cup was one of the factors that got us where we are on the FIFA ranking.
Yeah.
So probably it's not this new set of NFF. The blame has to go to what's it called, the last set of NFF.
I'm not sharing blames now. What I'm saying is what we can do going forward. And what we can do going forward is playing teams that are ahead of us in the FIFA ranking. Playing teams that if we can muster a win against them, it will shoot us up at the FIFA ranking. Not taking anything away from Saudi Arabia, but I think at this time we should be playing. And
that's another opportunity for the Super Eagles. What would they make out of this? But there was a slip there from Ademola Lookman, and he's not having a very good day. Talking about the Atlanta winger today hasn't actually been in the shirts all the colors of the Super Eagles. And don't forget, this weekend the Nigerian Nigerian Premier Football League continues. Sporting Lagos will be hosting Doma United right there at the Mobolaji Johnson Stadium. So you can always go to the stadium on Sunday to enjoy, Nigerian Premier Football League, beautiful football, and enjoy, the sporting football in Lagos. On Sunday, Sporting Lagos against Doma United at Mobolaji Johnson Stadium. And back to the Super Eagles against Saudi Arabia. It has actually been, another turn of game as Nigeria are currently holding ball possession right now, and that was a good chance created by the Super Eagles, and that was going straight to Victor Osimhen's head, but the defenders of Saudi Arabia got that cut off, and that supply won't be getting to the talisman of the Super Eagles. 54 minutes already in this encounter. It's still Nigeria 0, Saudi Arabia 0, and this encounter is looking like an end-to-end game right now between both teams. We are seeing attacking against attack right now.
Yeah, attacking. I love to see attacking football. That's where the goosebumps arises. You feel the tempo and the intensity of the game when both teams choose to attack. When it's end-to-end stuff, you get attacked and then they attack you back. It creates this consciousness in the players, and you just don't want to do anything too much, defend too much, attack too much, hold the ball too much especially, which can lead to you losing possession in a dangerous area. So I think we are in for, it seems Osimhen is down. It looks like...
it's looking like there's an injury there to Osimhen. Let's just hope the Napoli striker won't be injured, because I'm very sure Napoli would want that. They want to see their talisman looking injured right now in this friendly match.
We had this kind of...
We can see it's looking like Nigeria will be making an early substitution in the second half. It's looking like Victor Osimhen might just be going out of this encounter, but we can see him talking to Parceiro. Probably the young man can still continue in this encounter, talking about Victor Osimhen.
It should not force it, because the last time Napoli paid dearly for it.
And we can see Tyrone Murphy is warming up right now. Probably will be replacing Victor Osimhen in this encounter. 55 minutes already between Nigeria and Saudi Arabia. It's still 0-0 in this encounter. 30 more minutes to go in this 35 minutes to go in this encounter, but still 0-0 between both teams. It's looking like a tight encounter that I'm still on it.
Of them, and they get a goal or two. But it's an interesting game so far, not so boring like some games will be. But Nigeria has really done a bit of a good job possession-wise, but finishing has been very terrible. They really need to improve.
Yeah, they actually really need to improve. Talking about Ademola Lookman, he has been positioning excellent. You know,
okay.
Yeah. Positioning is excellent. You know, when we talk about pace, he has the pace, but he has been finished. His passes has not been accurate. Even passing connection, and even shot on goal, he has not been accurate. He has to work on it.
Yeah, he has to work on it. And currently, Nigeria is playing one man down.
And that is another defensive duty for Nigeria. And back to the goalkeeper, talking about Francis Uzoho, who will take his time and not take a short pass there. I see Nigeria playing between their defense. I just hope it will go in this encounter. The Saudi Arabians actually came into the second half looking tight and looking postulant and having that belief that yes, we can go all out against the Super Eagles of Nigeria and get that all-important victory.
Win the game, and that will be a plus for them. And nevertheless, it's a new job Mancini is just taking over this year.
And that's a good chance for Saudi Arabia. With this be the first chance for the first goal, but the Nigerian defenders were able to clear off their chances there. That will be taking it straight safety pass, and it's Victor Boniface on the ball right there, just to pass to Ademola Lookman, who goes back to Victor Boniface, but Boniface went straight back into Nigerian defense, and that is being passed between Calvin Phillips and Semi Ajayi. But Uzoho takes a deep one into the Saudi Arabian house and lost that ball into Saudi Arabia, who are back into the ball possession. And that's Nigeria back in there with the ball. And still Nigeria tapping around in Nigerian box. Why?
So it's a player grounded on the floor and needs that attention. And they've been calling for the substitution. And
see Murphy is in, and this young man just scored against PSG some weeks ago, got a brace against PSG, and he's in fine form. Talking about Temi Murphy, another striker who is up here, trying to get amongst the numbers. And we can see the frustration on Victor Osimhen's face. He never loved being substituted in a game. Even when injured, he's always on his face. He wants to give his all for 90 minutes, and that is what you get from that young man. And no wonder he was the highest scorer, and no wonder he's been rated over £100 million. And one of the reasons why Chelsea is all on his back, trying to get him in January. I want you guys to talk about that, that Chelsea going for Victor Osimhen. Will it be a good, a good move for him if he moves to Chelsea?
I think one problem Chelsea has been facing since last season is somebody to get the ball into the net. And come to a team that's not in the Champions League. It's still left to be seen, but let's just see what will happen, because now I think he's in the semi-final year of his contract, because this is like...
And it was 60th minute, 1-0 right now, Saudi Arabia leading against Nigeria. That was a direct free kick, and Uzoho should be doing better there. He left his guard.
He was the one who pulled the ball into the net. I told you I'm not a fan of Uzoho.
He pushed that into the back of the net.
It just, the ball was going off. The ball was going, he dragged it and put it into the net.
Wow.
Look at that.
Saudi Arabia
put it inside the net.
Nigeria 0.
I told you earlier on that I'm not a fan of Uzoho. These are my reasons. You know what I'm saying? Look at this ball now. It's something you just punch at, but he brought it from outside and put it inside the net. And it's a goal against Nigeria.
It's currently Nigeria 0, Saudi Arabia. And now that will be a corner kick for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But, apart from conceding that goal, it all has to boil down to Nigeria losing a lot of goals in the first half.
Yeah, that's how it works. When you lose your chances, you can get punished there in a very painful way. Look at the goal Nigeria just conceded. Purely goalkeeper error. We just hope that we are not looking at another Onana in the Super Eagles. But we just hope that Nigeria can come back into this game.
And a chance.
That's a good chance for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But that is not Uzoho in the goalpost of the Saudi Arabians. And that's will be 10 minutes. They took the game to the Nigerians and played, fantastically well against them. And they got that all-important goal. And that is what made the game of football, When you create the chances, when you dominate play, the end justifies it. Put the ball at the back of the net. And that is what Saudi Arabia has just done in the second minute. It took us 60 minutes to get the first goal of this encounter, but it was actually a world.
In preparation for a tournament, or maybe qualifier, because the FIFA World Cup qualifier too will soon start. So,
and that's another chance.
That's another chance. Would have been the second goal for Saudi Arabia, but Nigerian defense were able to clear their courts and were able to clear their chances. That would have been a good chance for Saudi Arabia to get the second goal. And what a goal that would have been for the Green Falcons of Saudi Arabia. Good ones to play, But that was a good defensive dirty work there from Calvin Bassey, talking about the Fulham defender.
Yeah, that was good thinking, quick reaction, throwing his body.
But that was going straight to Atta Muzor.
Are we sure? Are you sure that he will have stopped it?
Why?
That goal they scored was not coming straight to him.
If we bring our minds back to the game against Ghana, look at that shot, Thomas Partey shot that I conceded. That was a terrible goal to concede, and you just have to say he's not really reliable.
Not really reliable. You can see the super Eagles of Nigeria countering from the left side.
Our dominating play right now, 64 minutes approaching 65th minute, is Nigeria 0, Saudi Arabia 0. Jose Parcero is up there, you know, trying to dish out instructions to his boys and try to motivate them to get that equalizer. And we can say, oh yeah, Bruno there, you know, taking the water in his water. That man is full of lot of runnings in this encounter. And still, it's Nigeria right now to come in. And we can see Tyrone Ebueyi has been substituted. Let's see, for the number 2 of the Super Eagles will be making his way into it, and that's Bright Osai Samuel, who plays for Fenerbahce. He'll be replacing Tyrone Ebueyi straight at the right back, and we can see Samuel Chukwueze also being substituted. He hasn't really lived up to expectations in this encounter. 64 minutes, we are approaching 65th minutes. Nigeria 0, Saudi Arabia 0. We've also seen the senior man talking about Kelechi Iheanacho, who has been in good form for Leicester City this season. He's also been thrown into that encounter, and we can also see Moses Simon also thrown into this encounter. You know, right now, Jose Parcero is going straight all the way for attacking in this encounter. What are your expectations? You know, looking at this 3-man being thrown into this encounter. Bright Osai, you know, a fantastic right back for Fenerbahce, always full of runnings. And we have Kelechi Iheanacho. We saw the goals and the kind of creation he has, chances he has actually created for Leicester City this season. And there's Moses Simon, you know, the ever-present Super Eagles player.
Yeah, I don't think the coach is trying to do anything rather than usual. He's just trying to renew blood up front. Taking off Lookman for Moses Simon, Iheanacho for Chukwueze, and a right back for a right back. So I don't.
Guys have not actually lived up to expectation. You know, prior to the substitution of what is his name? What is his name? Lookman. I talked about him that he has not been accurate. You know, he has missed a lot of chances. Even his passes are not accurate. And the coach have actually seen that. And it's like Chukwueze has not been part of this game at all. Even if his runnings are not, his link-up play are not okay. You know, he's not in his best day. We know him. We know what he can do. We know Lookman what he can do. But today is just like it's not their day. So to me, it's a good substitution. Let them come in and bring in fresh move and fresh bite. And let's see how accurately they can get a goal for Super Eagles.
Okay, currently in the 66 minutes, approaching 67 minutes, it's Saudi Arabia who are dominating play right now, having the better share of, it's 50-50 in ball possession, but Nigeria still having the better share when it comes to total shot. 10 shots by Nigeria, 3 shots from Saudi Arabia, 2 shots on target for the Saudi Arabians, and out of that 2, 1 actually went through the back of the net, which actually gave us the first goal in this encounter. But the face with a good shot for the Super Eagles, but that's will be threatening the goalkeepers. The weight on that shot was actually just too much to threaten the Saudi Arabia's goalkeeper. It's Nigeria 0, Saudi Arabia.
Quality player, Nigerians are better than Saudi Arabia. So he needs some little tactics to win Nigeria, and that is what Mancini has actually done. You know, he watched Nigeria throughout the first half. You know, he allowed them to do all the plays, do all the ball possession, do all the runs, and in the second half, he came up with a little bite.
Saudi Arabia. Let's see what they'll actually be making out of this. It's Saudi Arabia against Nigeria right now, very close into the Nigerian box, and the Saudi Arabia players are still very much within the Nigerian box and taking their time. Would that be the second goal? Very chance for Saudi Arabia, and they will shout for an handball against Nigeria, but there's no VAR here, and Nigeria will be looking to turn the defense into attack, but they went back into their defense. You know, this is where we've actually been having problem in this game. You know, eating on the counter, immediate attacking play response has actually been the problem for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. That should have been, you know, an immediate counter attack there, but they chose to go back. Oh, there's VAR, and there's a VAR check right now. And I was about to say there was no VAR check, but we'll be having a VAR check. Let's see, it's looking like a possible penalty for Saudi Arabia, but that was looking like the ball was in a natural position. Let's see what the referee decision will be. Let's see what the referee decision will be, because this might actually be a penalty against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. The referee is actually consulting with the VAR to give a good decision.
Because
and it's the 70th minute. Nigeria might be going 2 goals down against Saudi Arabia. Yes. Well, VAR are actually communicating with the referee right now. But if Nigeria should, or what a chance, how will it have felt if Nigeria going 2 goals down against Saudi Arabia in the 70th minute? It might just be, it might have just been a Sokotilo moment.
Yeah, it would have been a Sokotilo. Even at 1-0, we can see that Nigeria is actually struggling to get a good chance. To at least just get, I don't believe in this coach. Bringing something special from.
So are you going back to your words now? Are you saying Nigeria might not win the Nations Cup?
Not might not. Most likely won't.
Okay, let's see if we can still spring surprises. And don't forget, on Monday, still Nigeria with another friendly match against our African brothers, talking about Mozambique. That should actually be a very good chance for the Super Eagles to get a victory, because this is not looking good for the Nigerians. We've not seen creation, we've not seen chances being created by the Super Eagles in the second half. The communication or that connection between the midfield, the creativity between the midfield and the attacking has actually eluded this game. We've not seen that connection between Iwobi and the attacking front.
When you look at it, I was saying it earlier that this 4-4-2 is a bit choky. It won't allow those guys to express themselves. Play a 4-3-3. Play in the front of the defense. And release guys up front in front of them, and leaving Boniface on the maybe right, Osimhen in the center, and Chukwueze on the left. Let them express themselves and be interchanging position up front. It would have been a more flexible way for them to express themselves attacking-wise. But when you play 4-4-2, it has to. When you start attacking, you can begin to twerk things inside the game, and that's the one thing that's flexible about 4-3-3 and all this. 3-4-2, 4-5-1 diamond formations.
And we can see frustration on the faces of the Super Eagles players, and even in the play, we can see frustration and desperation. A lot of misplaced passes right now by the Super Eagles, and one of that led to the goal kick for the Saudi Arabia. 71st minute, we're approaching 72 minutes, which will leave us with 18 more minutes into counter for Nigeria to find that all-important equalizer, and still more 80 minutes for Nigeria to get that victory against Saudi Arabia, and 18 minutes for Saudi Arabia to get a famous victory against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. They'll cherish this victory, no doubt. Getting a victory.
Yeah, those are the only 2 stars we have in the national team right now. Others, they are just another player.
I'd like to ask, what's the problem? That's a good chance for the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
And that's a goal!
Finally, Nigeria the equalizer. And score one in that game between Nigeria and Victor Boniface.
VR will check this. Yeah. We hope it's a goal. And look at the attitude of Boniface. Bring the ball, we need to win this game. Mentality. When you have a winning mindset, that's what you do. You lead the team. I think you must have gotten a lot of that from Xabi Alonso. Winning mentality. And
that's definitely there for the Nigeria equalizer. It's Nigeria 1, Saudi Arabia 1 right now in the 72nd minute. And it's looking like a game Nigeria might actually be pursuing to get.
By Victor
and
Boniface.
That was actually a good goal from him. And it's continuing from where he stopped with Bayer Leverkusen. Talking about the 22 years of striker Victor Boniface.
Yeah,
Nigeria won.
This is his first goal, right?
Yeah, this is
first goal, and they have a long journey to go for Nigeria, and it's looking good.
It's looking good for them. It's looking good for the strikers.
It's looking good for the journey.
When you have a striker, you have Gift Orban, you have Victor Boniface, you have Victor Osimhen, you have Murphy, you have Awoni, Uche. We've had Victor Emmanuel Menike,
Julius.
We've had Julius Agawa, we've had a lot of strikers.
And to be candid, all these names you mentioned, mention one world-class player.
No, they were actually they were actually
because Rashidi Yekini then was a world-class.
He was not a very player. Look at the teams he played. And talking about the striker, one of
and
the
even
first
in his club side
that scored 100 goals in EPL, one of the first Africans that scored
one
100 goals in EPL.
So, in his club.
A lot of numbers when he was at Blackburn, not just Blackburn alone, even at Portsmouth, at Everton, he was always getting 10 plus goals almost every season. Even at Middlesbrough. Let's see what the VAR will be, the decision the VAR will be making. We are currently in the 75th minute. We're approaching 76 minutes already. And that's a counter. It's still Nigeria 1, Saudi Arabia 1. And this game might just be heading right there as the second draw between these two teams. Don't forget the first one ended 0-0 between Nigeria and Saudi Arabia. And that game was played in 2010 when Pasero was the coach of Saudi Arabia. But tonight, he will be looking to get a famous victory against Saudi Arabia when he is on the other side coaching the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And we can see VAR still deciding and checking on what they'll be checking on that. But I don't think that was actually an offside. And we can see Nigeria preparing another substitution, and it's looking like Joe Aribo might be coming into a good attacking midfielder on his own day. But everything went south, when he joined Southampton. You know, he has been battling from getting chance. At a point, we thought probably because of Jude Ward Prowse. With the VR lines, I can see it on my screens right here in Portugal. It's still Nigeria 1. Saudi Arabia 1, because it's RSA I'm seeing, and it's looking like South Africa. About Joe Aribo just right now. Yeah. What do you think has been happening to that young man?
Yeah, it's just a victim of managerial changing.
You can see Boniface is going out.
And Boniface has actually been withdrawn. Talking about the young man, the gargling striker, Sadiq Umar, who went on a 9 months injury layoff, from Real Sociedad. He's back in the colors of the Super Eagles. We saw him at the last Olympics. Not the last Olympics. The Olympics, Nigeria actually won bronze medal. He has actually given a good account of himself. And he's a terrific and a prolific striker on his own day. Let's see what he can actually bring into this game. I've also seen Aribo being subbed in for Iwobi.
This is what we call a team-as baptism of strikers. Because, we've not mentioned Sadiq Umar too.
We forgot Sadiq Umar.
Another striker that has
there's another gangly striker, what's his name? The one that played with Southampton last season, who didn't get it well.
You can see
Onuachu. He's still there. A lot of strikers for the Super Eagles. We are spoiled for strikers. Chukwuemeka of Chelsea playing for Noni Madueke playing for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. These are prolific midfielders. Let's say that chance for the Super Eagles. Moses Simon in the box right now. He's taking 1 or 2 men on his own there, and they were just too much against him. But he wins the ball back, but way out of the box, and still Nigeria there. Kick late into this encounter. 79 minutes, we're approaching 80th minute already. It's Saudi Arabia 1, Nigeria 1. I'm talking about the substitutes and the goal scorer for Nigeria. Talking about Boniface. That was his first goal for the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
Goal for him. He looks good. He fixed. In fact, he just gelled to the Nigerian team. It's like he has been there in the past 100 years. The way he's playing, he's a fighter. He's a fighter. He don't get the ball, they fight for the ball, and his positioning excellent. And we will talk about accuracy. When we are talking about accuracy, out of those chances they missed, he was not part of those who missed those chances. I think it's one of the chances God is scored it. I'm talking about Sadiq Umar. A lot of Nigeria, I'm sure they're not so happy with him. Based on the last Nations Cup, when they introduced him, a lot of hope was on him, and we were expecting Nigerians expected him to score. He tried all his best, and at that point, it's like he was not fit. He was so tall. He was struggling.
He's actually a dragging striker.
Yeah, he's a dragging striker. He was so tall, and he missed a lot of. But I think it's an opportunity for him to redeem his image and register his name. And that is another chance.
That is another chance for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We're talking about the dragging striker. That's a good shot. And got Nigeria the second goal. What a kick! What a take from the man there, the Leicester City striker. With the second goal for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. What a turnaround in this encounter. Nigeria 2, Saudi Arabia 1.
Yeah, it was the one that started the link-up play. Missed
wow!
Look at the cuff on the ball, the weight on the ball, right touch, right place at the right time. Fantastic finish.
A sweet celebration.
Yeah. Fantastic finish, and it's Nigeria 2, Saudi Arabia right now in the 81st minute. And I said that in the first half, Nigeria will be winning this encounter.
But
it's Nigeria 2, Saudi Arabia. I can't remember saying that in the first half. Okay. But I just know Nigeria is leading right now 2-1. And there's still opportunity for Nigeria to get, the win. And looking at the competition, these players are competing against themselves. It's all the competition. You can see Moses Simon coming into this encounter. Amongst the goal scoring. Amongst the goal scorer, sorry. And 82nd minute. It's looking all promising. The form is right here. Bringing that from Leicester City to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. It's currently Nigeria 2, Saudi Arabia 1. Good turnaround for the Super Eagles of Nigeria as they're back leading against Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, very good one for.
It's currently Saudi Arabia who has a chance of getting a goal of their own, and you can see the players are pushing, they're running straight to the referee, asking for a penalty. But that's an opportunity for VAR to check. And you can see the referee telling the players not to run to him and let the VAR make a decision. And there's a call from VAR right now, and they'll be talking to the referee. Let's see if that was actually a chance to make. Oh, it looks like the hand was actually in a natural position also, because he was sliding in there. Oh, no, that's it's looking like a chest. There was no way Olive was going to cut his hand off here. Let's see what VAR decision will be making there against Nigeria. Will it be a chance for a second goal for Saudi
No penalty,
Arabia?
continue.
No penalty
Continue.
against Nigeria. And second time lucky for the Super Eagles of Nigeria against Saudi Arabia, who have been 2 times unlucky not to get penalties against Nigeria. 83rd minute already in this encounter. We're approaching 84th minute. Saudi Arabia 1, Nigeria 2. You know, we have 6 minutes of regulation time to go. Yeah. What do you think Parceiro should be doing right now? Should he still attack, or should he be looking forward to defend and get a famous victory against Saudi Arabia?
Attack, you keep attacking. This is a friendly match. It's just to test the strength of your team. How can they soak pressure? How can they attack? And now, you can't be defending against Saudi Arabia. That is a very, very, very bad way to play. A team that is not up to you national as a national team in this kind of things. You attack them till the...
that was careless. That's another careless on Sadiq Kumar.
That is Sadiq Kumar. And if there's one thing about Sadiq Kumar, you know, no doubt, he can lose a lot of chances, but, you know, that won't take anything away from him that he's actually one of the top strikers. And that would have been an offside there against him. Good run there, but the finishing was actually
What
wrong.
was he thinking? You know, the indecision. I think indecision.
Yeah,
he shouldn't be missing that chance.
What to do there. But still, Nigeria leading 2-1. Yeah, we are approaching the 85th minute, which will leave us with 5 more minutes to go. And this will be a victory, you know, Parceiro will actually so much cherish. You know, getting a victory against a former top match, you know, quality match. We've seen end-to-end stuff in this encounter between Saudi Arabia and Nigeria. And we are currently seeing another substitution from the Saudi Arabians. They'll be sending, they've actually sent in their number 25. Let's see who the young man is for Saudi Arabia. It's Mohamed Kali Maran, who has actually been thrown into the thick of action.
And they've
but
sent
still
in
Nigeria.
Kesa too.
They've sent in?
Kesa too.
Kesa, okay. That's another good chance for Nigeria, but that was actually a wayward final pass from the Super Eagles of Nigeria. It's Saudi Arabia who are eating on the counter right now and trying to see if they can get that all-important equalizer against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. 85th minute, we're approaching 86 minutes. 4 more minutes of regulation time. You know, how will you guys rate this encounter?
It has been a very flowing football, you know. Even to some extent, most Nigerians will be feeling that Nigeria has been defeated. Why? But looking at it, we saw what Parceiro did. In fact, right now, he has not actually substituted any defender. He substituted strikers.
Yeah, he brought in the right back.
Just the right back. Apart from him, there's no other person he has actually substituted. It has been strikers and midfielders that he has been substituted. And you know, right now Nigeria is up, and now you need defend right now because you are winning. You know, so it's left for him to use to cover. Otherwise, this Saudi Arabia can take us on the counter.
Talking about that goal scorer Kelechi Iheanacho, that is his 13th goal for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. 44 appearances for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. You know, not really bad numbers for that young man. 13 goals right now for the Super Eagles. It's 8. It's 7. Another chance, but that was a good save from the goalkeeper. And that is still Iheanacho. I think it's fine. He's having that love for onside shots right now. And anybody who watches Iheanacho right from the under 17 will know he has an eye for that outside long shot. And no wonder he could get that goal. But we've actually been asked to be playing for Leicester City. No doubt he has actually been in the prime of his career. And, you know, good account. He has actually given me good account of himself this season for Leicester City.
Yeah, good account of himself. So far, so good. But I think there are a lot of places he can still improve, especially his finishing and his link-up play, the way he attacks. You can see the improvement in Ndidi and even Kelechi Iheanacho. The seriousness.
Yeah, at the point we saw Ndidi. You know, at the point we saw a new type of Ndidi. Yeah. Let me take you back to Ndidi starting for the Nigerian team, because I remember him in the under 17 and 2009. He started off as a defender. Coming straight to the 2013 under 20. where he played as a defensive midfielder role and got that straight down to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And, right now we're seeing him playing as an attacking midfielder for Leicester City, and at the end of the day, he's looking like an all-round footballer. Good free kick from the Super Eagles of Nigeria, but the goalkeeper, the Saudi Arabian goalkeeper, was able to that task. 89 minutes of the action already. It's still Nigeria 2, Saudi Arabia 1. What a good turnaround for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. That would have been a good chance for Sadiq Umar to get Nigeria the third goal in this encounter, but the goalkeeper was able there and was able to the task.
And he was able to the task, saved Saudi Arabia from conceding another goal. And to the Iheanacho issue, I said the Iheanacho Ndidi issue. Ndidi has been a shining light. You have to give him a lot of credit. It's not easy to keep switching with and adapting to it and performing at a very high level. Look at it now. It's now an attacking midfielder, taking home the man of the match. He's now been nominated as one of the players in contention for the Player of the Month award in the championship. And that's not bad. Though it's the championship, we can't really rely so much on that. But I think it's a good one, seeing him adapt fast to this attacking role.
Okay, 90 minutes of regulation time has been completed right now, and it's 9 minutes additional time by the referee, and that was due to some VAR check. And that's normal in the current game of football right now. We are used to seeing those kind of big numbers in the additional time. As Nigeria currently in ball possession, enjoying their play against Saudi Arabia. We didn't see this kind of play earlier in the second half, and that is what goals actually does to you. Motivate your play, sees you. At this point, they actually enjoy their game against Saudi Arabia.
I don't think it's the goals that sprang this up. It's the substitution. Since Moses Simon came in and Iheanacho, something changed about the bite. Now the bite came alive, and they started attacking in a way that they can actually get something positive from it. Not from the first half where they were wasteful. And you have to take some blame too towards the boots of Lookman. He really needs to up his game. And I like the competition in this team. It's very good for football.
What I've observed so far, after the substitution, they've been able to hold the midfield. Even in times of counter, they are aware that the Saudi Arabians want to counter them, and they always block every single opportunity that comes their way. They don't allow them to have a flow into the 18 box any longer. I wonder how they were able to achieve that. The past 15 minutes, you see, this is the only time that they're only trying to build up now, because they were actually relying on counter, but they were not getting it. So now they just calm down, trying to just do some passes around and get to the 18 box. Otherwise, it will be difficult. I want to salute the coach, like we were talking about, the coach of Leicester City, Marisa, who has actually done a very great job in both Ndidi and Iheanacho.
That's a good chance for Saudi Arabia. Would this be a chance for the equalizer? But Nigerians were quick to that and able to clear their defense. 92nd minute of action already. We have about 7 more minutes to go in this encounter. It's looking like a free kick to Saudi Arabia in a dangerous position. So throwing, to Saudi Arabia, and it's Nigeria who are pushing and trying to push the Saudi Arabians back into their box. It's Nigeria 2, Saudi Arabia 1. 93 minutes of action already being played at the Estadio Stadium in Portugal.
So what I'm trying to say next is that you see that even in Leicester City, Iheanacho does not stand as the last man up front who will do all the scoring. You know what I'm saying? Now he stands behind, creating passes to the attackers, and that is what he has brought. And also trying shot. That is the Iheanacho we knew when he started playing under 17. He gets a lot of goal from outside the team box, and now we are seeing it too.
Arabia. And it's just 2 games against Saudi Arabia, so not really much encounter. But getting a victory is actually very much important for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and it's going to boost their confidence going into that game against Mozambique in what will be a tie against African Brothers on Monday. That game is still going to be played here in Portugal. I'm talking about the game between Nigeria and Mozambique. What are your expectations going into that game? Are you expecting, a different Super Eagles approach to that encounter from what we are seeing in this game against Saudi Arabia?
I think there should be an improved approach, and our fans still can join the conversation on the live chat though. But we need to start calling some teams out, like Nigeria. Mozambique should not be a team that we need to be building confidence for. They are a team that they should be coming to play us with the fear, and they're taking their hearts in their mouth and say, oh, it's the Super Eagles they want to go and face. So they have no business not defeating Mozambique like an upcoming football nation that they are. Honestly, there are still minnows in football as far as I'm concerned, and Mozambique is one of them.
Okay, football is very much fast improving, and that is why Mozambique are up to the task right now against Super Eagles of Nigeria. 94th minute, we're approaching 95th minute, which will leave us with 4 minutes in this encounter. It's still Nigeria 2, Saudi Arabia 1. And don't forget, you can be a part of this conversation by dropping your chart in our live chats. We promise to read every chart out live on this program. And still Nigeria 2, Saudi Arabia 1. Big Gaffer, you know, what's your assessment of this encounter? You know, looking at the Super Eagles in this game, what are your expectations? I think your expectations for the Nations Cup should be changing right now.
No, it's not actually changing. It's like what I have to say, first of all, to the NFF for organizing friendlies like this. We've been expecting it. We have not been seeing it. You're having friendly today against Saudi Arabia. In 3 days, you're having friendly against Mozambique. It's a good one. That is where the players will actually understand themselves. They are not playing a domestic league at home where they know themselves very. They are scattered all over Europe. You know what I'm saying?
And that's another chance for the Super Eagles of Nigeria with this be the third goal. But Moses Simon actually lost that out to Saudi Arabia, who will be turning the defense into attack right now. And they'll be going straight on the counter against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But Calvin Bassey is there to actually defend that and save the save the Super Eagles of any further embarrassment here. It's still Nigeria leading 2-1 against Saudi Arabia. Moses Simon, who chose to go back to his defender, talking about the Nigerian defender, and he chose a long one straight into the box, and that should have been a good chance for Sadiq. But the referee actually favored against blowing against Sadiq Umar there for infringement against the Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia was a free kick late into this encounter against Nigeria. Saudi Arabia 1, Nigeria 2 currently in this game, and it's looking like a game Nigeria has in the bag, sorry.
Yeah, I think this game is a security lock.
And that's another good chance for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. With this be the third goal for the Super Eagles, but he chose to go direct by himself. Kelechi Iheanacho went for himself there, but that will be threatening the Saudi Arabians defenders. As Nigeria playing around the box of the Saudi Arabians and chose it to pass along the line, and it's still Nigeria in ball possession. Saudi Arabia currently have it, and they'll be looking forward to Saudi Arabia right now. Looking very good and holding onto the ball. Let's see what they will be making out of this. It's currently in the 97th minute. 2 more minutes for Saudi Arabia to look for that all-important equalizer in added time against Nigeria. But Nigerian defenders and Nigerian midfielders are back into the defense, and Saudi Arabia looking for that to create that chance. And it's
something that is difficult to keep up with. And I think that was an harsh tackle there. But Joe Aribo playing time, he can get back to the Joe Aribo. I think alone will do him good for Chelsea.
Yeah, he really needs to leave. He needs to leave. Something had to pay that money, to pay that lot of money to get a young man. But he has actually been warming the bench ever since joining Rangers, and this should be one of the final Southampton. And this should be one of the final attempts in this encounter. 98 minutes. We are currently approaching the 99th minute, which will take us to the end of minimum zone day is able to that task.
Yeah, Francis is just considered one from a set piece. This is another set piece.
Another set piece.
I just hope that maybe the guy doesn't get it on target.
That's another test. You saw the save of the goalkeeper of Saudi Arabia. He actually came out and punched that ball out. The difference
Zoe was also trying to push that,
inside or outside.
He was trying to push it outside. You direct the ball. You don't let the ball direct you.
He's quick. I saw the intention, but
last time I saw this type of free kick, get that. Yeah. Finally, Nemesis will strike twice against Nigeria. Ray considered the second goal from another set piece. Wow. 2-2 in the late embers of this game. It's Nigeria 2, Saudi Arabia 2. That took a wicked deflection. He took a wicked deflection.
When it's on his shoulder, and he redirected the ball to another position. I will not blame Muzo for this. because that is one of the most.
This takes us to that that free kick. What's it called? Free kick.
The first one.
No, the free kick. What's it called? Joe Aribo conceded there. It was looking like an unnecessary free kick to be considered late into the second half. Additional time. It's Nigeria 2, Saudi Arabia 2, and it's another famous draw between these two opponents, and they'll be going into the next encounter, probably a third friendly match, or probably when they face off. And final whistle already, it's Nigeria 2, Saudi Arabia 2. The Super Eagles of Nigeria couldn't defeat the Green. Nigeria still looking there for their first victory against Saudi Arabia. We can see the frustration and the disbelief on the Nigerian players' face because they thought they've got this covered. 2-2 at the final whistle. Nigeria 2, Saudi Arabia 2.
Yeah, good one for Saudi Arabia and also good for Nigeria. They first
it's a late goal. Nigeria have to put themselves together when it comes to set piece, how to defend set piece, because the 2 goals considered today are through set pieces. Now the first one came and the goalkeeper, I blame him for that, but the second one I will not blame him because there was a deflection, such as deflection at some of the most.
One and opened the second for the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
The only reason I think that ball entered was that deflection of Bassi. And I think it's just a goal that is just bound to happen.
Nigeria look better in this encounter, but Saudi Arabia, Mancini showed how tactical it can be when he played, able to correct it. And the introduction of new players also came with new life. So we hope to see them play better in the next match against Mozambique.
Okay, we hope to see Nigeria better against Mozambique on Monday. And don't forget to join us on Premier Sport Fan Center for that encounter. We'll be giving a watch along of that program, of that match, between Nigeria and Mozambique on Monday. 2-2 this match ended against Ose Pasero, on set pieces. Straight to you, Yemite, And you were about talking about that set piece because right before that last free kick, you were talking about it that we consider the first goal from set piece, and this might just be another dangerous chance of we conceding. And we considered the goal.
Yeah, I have to, because there are ways you could have formed the wall that would be more protective. That we